The transfer portal needs some fixing. I think we can all agree on that. Now, if you don't know what the transfer portal is, it's basically a status that a student athlete can have that opens them up to transfer to different schools, different universities. The first thing we need to do in order to fix the transfer portal is to remove any negative or controlling narratives as to why student athletes shouldn't go in the transfer portal. It doesn't take you long at all. One Google search will let you see how many coaches that do not want their student athletes to go to the transfer portal.
The transfer portal, I just believe kids are going to make bad decisions. My biggest fear of the transfer rule is anybody going to learn how to fail? Because it's okay to fail. Have you ever failed?
Sure.
I failed a zillion times. You don't learn as much from winning as you do from losing. Because when you win, everybody's patting you on the back and you got 100,000 friends. So you're not playing. I mean, Draymond, he played 5 minutes a game as for Tillman, Valentine. I can name you pros that they would have transferred by now because they don't want to endure the process. Transferring is not bad. Every place isn't for everybody. But why doesn't the NBA have total free agency? You have a 5-year contract or a 4-year contract. We now have total free agency.
What concerns me is the people that do not like the transfer portal, they oftentimes use language like, oh, the players aren't being loyal, or they don't want to go through tough times. They just want anytime things get tough, they just want to transfer. And this is hurting the game of basketball, hurting the sports, or hurting athletics, or hurting their experience. They're supposed to go through tough times. And that always drives me nuts because it's not the same thing for coaches.
A coach can pick up and leave whenever they get ready, and no one bats an eye. No one tries to give them some type of shaming speech about, oh, this coach didn't want to go through hard times, or they're trying to cheat the process, or they're not playing the game the right way, they're not being loyal. No, they don't say any of that stuff. You know what they say? He had to make the right decision for his family. And no one thinks anything else about it. But when it comes to a young, impressionable mind, a young man or a young lady going through that process, we want to use heavy-hitting words like not being loyal and cheating the process and being scared of going through hard times. We never say that to coaches. We never tell coaches if they want to transfer, if they're interviewing for other jobs, that it's because they're running from the hard part about staying at this other university or other school. It just doesn't make any sense.
And coaches get a longer time of eligibility, right? You can be a coach for 40 years. You're only going to be a player, you're only going to be a student athlete for, I mean, with the COVID year now, 6 years. But typically you have 5 years to play for as far as competing in athletics in college. Just because they want to transfer, just because they're looking to transfer, does not mean they don't have grit. That doesn't mean that they're not tough. That just means there are other options for them and they want to explore those options. That's it. The second thing that needs to be done in order to fix the transfer portal is offer an exit interview once that student athlete has made it to their destination. And here's the point. If the NCAA is truly serious about student athletes and their development and their well-being and just their overall experience about being student athletes, if they're truly locked in on that piece, we need to understand that then we should always be revisiting our processes to see if they're actually doing the job they're supposed to be doing. Some of these players may not be in an environment that's conducive to their success. And they need the space and opportunity to voice that concern without it being held against them. And I think the best way to do that is once they go to their school, once they're settled in, for them to be able to comment about why they left, their experiences, the things they would change. I think they should be able to name those 3 things anonymously, and that go directly to the NCAA and be on a file for that particular coach. I think that's only fair. I think that's only fair if we're going to continue to grow, if we're going to continue to stretch for student athlete development. I think this is important for that process. in order to fix the transfer portal, this is important because it allows us to examine our processes. It allows us to be able to stretch further. It allows us to make a success. It allows us to keep success of the student athlete in their limited amount of time to be the utmost priority. It allows us to do that. And it protects them for any type of mistreatment, retaliation, anything like that of the student athlete. If they're already at that university and it's anonymous, so the coach doesn't know where it came from, especially if that coach had many student athletes that had left that year. And my last point I want to make as it relates to fixing the transfer portal is allowing student athletes to come back to their original school on scholarship. If they already had a scholarship, they should be able to come back to that school and retain that same scholarship. If you don't know, some people get stuck in the transfer portal, meaning they have all these great ideas and they say, man, I want to transfer. They put themselves in the transfer portal and then nobody picks them up. They don't have any opportunities. They want to go back to their other school, but now the coach has his or her feelings hurt and they're like, well, I don't know if I can trust you. Why would I let you play back on this team? Why would I let you have the same scholarship money that you had beforehand if you've already shown that your loyalty your loyalty has the potential of going somewhere else? The reason why they should be able to retain what they've already built at those universities is the same reason why college coaches do it. College coaches can be at a university under contract and still go out for an interview for another school. And if it doesn't work, if they don't negotiate the deal the way they want, they come back to that university and they continue to coach. Literally everyone does that. Everyone does that. It doesn't matter. Like if you have a job right now, and you're interested in moving jobs, what do? Do you just quit your job? Do you just quit your job and say, well, I'm just going to do without a paycheck. I'm just going to do without a paycheck. Or on your lunch break, you're on Indeed.com. You on whatever job boards or calling people or utilize your network to get another job. It's the latter. We all do it. We all do it. We don't quit our jobs to go look for other jobs. That's silly. That's silly. So why would we ask student athletes to do that? Why would we ask student athletes, and why would we penalize them for wanting to better themselves? We should be trying to champion them. We should be trying to make it as efficient as possible. Not as easy as possible, but as efficient as possible. If someone wants to make the decision to leave, then we should help them do that. Oftentimes we say that, we coddle student athletes, we coddle young adults. They're not going to be ready for the real world. This is our opportunity to allow them to make adult decisions. Our only thing that we should be worried about is how do we equip them throughout the process? So instead of trying to control them and shame them and make them feel bad for even thinking about transferring, how about we have discussions about let's make sure that your transfer. Let's make sure that you know how many hours you're going to transfer. Let's make sure that this school has your major. Let's make sure that you fit within this program that you're thinking about entertaining. Let's have conversations like that. Not conversations like, well, let's make it harder for them to go. Let's shame them. Let's talk so bad about them that it makes them question if they should stick it out. Listen. I understand from an adult mindset, you may think that some of their rationale is dumb. It's stupid. What they want to transfer because they want playing time? They want to transfer because they don't like the coach? They want to transfer because they want to get closer to home? They want to transfer because this is none of our business. This is not our time. This is their time. We need to be trying to put them in a position that they can shine and do their thing. That's it. If you're more worried about yourself, if you're more worried about being able to control your players like their livestock, then of course you're gonna have an issue with this video. But this video, I'm telling you, we gotta stop the shame talk. We gotta create processes that highlight the student athlete's experience, and then we need to also allow student athletes to come back to their universities if they're already on scholarship and coaches have expressed they wanted that person on the team. They should be able to retain their time on that team.
loud ears.